Beauty scientists Dr. Kristy Hamilton and Dr. Roy Kim. Real beauty without the hype.
And then for toners, which can really clean the skin but can actually make the skin dry, do you have any recommendations for that?
So toners I tend to skip because the whole concept of needing to balance your skin's pH, I think our skin does that naturally on its own. So I know that's a controversial point. Some people like toners. That's not something I particularly recommend for my patients, although I feel like if you want to, that's fine.
Yeah, and then certainly with toner, you can save a lot of money by just getting witch hazel, heck, alcohol pads, which seems a bit extreme, but it does work, especially in some patients.
Yeah, and some patients overdo it on the toner, and then they find like their skin's dry afterwards or irritated. So that's also one of the reasons you would see us or a dermatologist, so that we make sure that we're choosing a regimen that is really customized to your skin, because everyone's a little bit different.
So for moisturizers, there are a ton of options, including hyaluronic acid, glycerin, ceramides, etc. What do you recommend for patients?
I love ceramides. I love lipids. I think for moisturizers, the moisturizing step is really important. So even for the oily people out there, you still need a moisturizer because you have to protect your skin barrier and support your skin barrier. So sometimes the oily people think that if they skip moisturizer, they're going to be less oily. In fact, you're going to increase your oil production and become even oilier. So I think moisturizer, again, is another step that's important, but don't have a strong opinion on going for cosmeceutical grade products versus over the counter.
Yeah. And I also tell my patients, I echo the same thing I said before, avoid fragrances, colors, things like that. That's just more irritation. Why pay for it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's foundation of a good skincare regimen. We haven't gone to any of the serums yet. And then of course, like probably number one thing that you need to do, sunscreen. So that's would be the next step. And that's absolutely essential. I don't care how much melanin you have in your skin, whether you never go outside. Some patients are like, oh, I'm always indoors. Are there windows in your office? Yes. Are there lights in your office? Or are there screens? Yes, there are. So you're getting that peripheral damage. So number one, prevention is worth an ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure. So you got to be protecting your skin. And if you do only that, there's going to be a profound difference in your skin 10 years from now versus where you are now.
Yeah. Any preferences as sunscreen?
I prefer mineral based. I'm really trying to avoid the chemical sunscreens, although I tell patients, look, if you find one and that's the only one that you're going to wear, any sunscreen is better than no sunscreen, but I prefer the mineral based ones, so zinc oxide, titanium dioxide.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then of course with patients, you have to let them know SPF 30 or higher is good. Not certain if I'd pay extra for SPF 60. And again, the more fragrance you have, the more potentially irritating for the skin it is, and why pay for it if it's not even that great for you?
That's a really good point too. It's like you don't have to wear SPF 70. So when you look at the curve of how much protection you're getting, it's like marginal. People think, oh, I'm getting double the protection if I go from SPF 35 to 70. And that's not the case. So maybe if you're on a major sun exposure trip, it's better to increase your SPF for the beach. But from a daily use perspective, 35 is just fine.
Thank you for joining us on The Beauty Scientists. Be sure to visit thebeautyscientists.com and learn more about modern beauty and connect with Dr. Hamilton and Dr. Kim.